Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Shruti-smriti-purananam karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. In this chapter, Tattva Viveka, we are at the end of, almost at the end of it. In the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in a state where the individual self and the Supreme Self are one with each other, there is no difference at all. What prayatna, what effort that individual must do to merge? Is there any prayatna at all? Prayatnam asti chet samadhihi purusha prayatnena bhavati. If one thinks that by individual effort the state of self-abidance takes place, in that case, for the sake of putting forth effort, there must be the individual dhyata must be present. Just like any activity when we do, the karta is present, the doer. If the doer is present, then what he is doing or what he attempts to do or achieve is different from that person. If you say that Purusha Prayatna is not there, there is no effort, without effort, then how will then be merging taking place? If there is no effort, there cannot be result. If there is effort, the result is not one's own, it is away from oneself. हाँ, प्रयत्न करना चाहिए ना नहीं करना चाहिए? हाँ, that's a question here. The answer to that is, as we saw in 57, verse 57, Vrittinam anuvrittistu prayatnat pratamaadapi adrishta asakrit abhyasa samskara sachivat bhavit. The effort that an individual has done in the past, tadanim vritti utpadakaha, there at that point of nirvikalpa samadhi, there is the effort, no doubt, has been done by the individual, but not at that time. Vritti utpadaka prayatna abhavat. There is no prayatna at that point. Kadam vritti anuvritti idi ashankya. The doubt that how can then there will be merging of the individual to the ultimate. Tatkalika prayatna abhave api, even though there is no effort at that time, pradamikadeva prayatnat adrishtadi sahakari sahitat bhavati ityaha. Previously, the effort that has been done by the individual at the time of nididhyasana and savikalpa samadhi. Dei eka gocharanam vrittinam anuvrittistu pravaharupena anugatihi tu pratamadabi prayatnat samadhi purvakalinaadabi adrishta punya visheshaha yascha asakrit abhyasa samskaraha punah samadhi abhyasena janitaha bhavana rupehe samskara visheshaha tabhyam sahakarika karanabhyam sahavartamanat bhavati. As Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi pointed out in Upadeshasaram, Ajyadaraya Shrotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam Viraladaparam. This Ajyadara, like that of the flow of the ghee, Sarala Chintanam Prayatnam Karaniyaha. The effort has to be done on the part of the seeker to continuously maintain a stream of thought. Aham brahmasmi iti vritti akhanda akara vritti. Akhanda akara akarita vritti. Akhanda akara means an undivisible form of Brahman. The thought takes that form. Now, because of our sanchita vasanas, collected vasanas, impressions, there will be constant disturbances interrupting this flow. That is called virala. Virala means interruption. So, sarala chintanam virala chantanat uttamam. A continuous, uninterrupted thought is greater than interrupted thoughts. But nididhyasana samaye, at that time a person is attempting to maintain the continuous thought on Brahman, these kind of interruptions are bound to be there. Because of the certain residual vasanas that are still present in the mind of the practitioner, there will be other stray thoughts. It's called viparita bhavana. Viparita. Distracting thoughts would be there, which will be coming. And so the practice that the person does is, that is what he is here said, asakrit. Asakrit means again and again. Abhyasa samskara. Due to that practice of bringing the mind again and again to the abidance in the Brahman, punah samadhi abhyasena janitaha samskaraha bhavana rupaha, in the form of a flow of continuous thought. Bhagavan Krishna also says, Yato yato nischaradi manas chanchalam astiram. Yataha yataha, whenever, due to whatever reason. Manaha chanchalam astiram, mind which is restless and unsteady. At that time, when you notice it, as soon as you notice the mind has moved away from the point of contemplation, tataha, tataha, from that alone, niyamya, controlling, niyamya, atmani eva vasham nayet, bring it back to the Atman alone. This is the stage of nididhyasana. And when continuous flow of thought has become steady, it is reaching to the point of savikalpa. And in the savikalpa, the dhyata, the meditator, is able to maintain a continuous stream of thoughts with effort. That effort also should end in nirvikalpa samadhi. The person who puts the effort also should disappear. And that, in that effortless effort, is possible because of the mind has taken to the form of Brahman. It is like if you are pouring water onto the floor and watch carefully where the water moves. The water going to the lowest point. Correct. It will go to the lowest point. Wherever you pour the water, it will go direct towards the lowest point. It won't go up. And the lowest point it will go in a particular formation. And when it is said, like Ganges, which is flowing from the Himalayas, has been flowing for thousands or millions of years maybe, through the mountains and through the rocks, it has been moving towards Bay of Bengal. And because of the force of the water that is coming down, gushing down the Himalayas, it is going towards the Bay of Bengal. It has created a path to itself. And over so many thousands of years or so, when it has moved in the direction with the force, it has created the grooves on the land. So, water will not escape at all. It will go in that direction only. In the same way, punaha abhyasat. That's why Bhagavan has said, when Arjuna asked, how do I control my mind? Abhyasena tu kaunteya. अभ्यास करना चाहिए. क्या अभ्यास है? ये देह अभ्यास है? नहीं, देह अभ्यास क्या नहीं है. एक चिंतन अभ्यास, एकाग्रता अभ्यास. One-pointed attention is the abhyas here, practice. And over a period of time, when the mind has been trained to naturally glide into the thought of Brahman, without effort, that will not happen in the beginning stages. But as an individual has put so much of effort into making sure the mind does not deviate away, at the same time, he has worked on reducing the vasanas as well. It is not that vasanas are intact and he is training the mind to be in one place. Then it is a discipline. But the discipline must be followed by vairagya. That's why Bhagavan very clearly says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha. क्या वैराग्य होना चाहिए? वस्तुषु वैराग्यः, इंद्रिय कर्तेषु वैराग्यः. Dispassion over the objects of perception which create a notion of happiness when through proper inquiry, through jnanam, coming to know that the happiness that I associate with the objects are mind-born mere notions only, upon the conviction of this knowledge, a person's desire to possess and indulge in the objects have been considerably reduced. Then, to that extent, interruption from those vasanas while one is attempting to maintain the continuous stream of thought towards Brahman is possible. Reduction of those interruptions. And so, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa, Vairagya. Practice dispassion. Practice dispassion. Practice to maintain dispassion to get rid of vasanas. And this constantly, when it is done, when the the vasanas are made minimum to the point of zero, then Abhyasa ends. Isn't it? When there is no interruption. When there is no interruption. So now you see, from the day we were born till today, every day we go to sleep. What abhyasa aapne kiya? Swamiji, I am practicing sleep. You practice sleep? Yes, Swamiji. I am practicing sleep while you are talking. हमको practice करना चाहिए क्या? See, it is natural for us. It is natural for us to sleep. There is no need for practice. And क्यों ऐसा? Why is that we don't practice sleep? You know, some people, when they travel through train or in the train or the plane, they can never sleep. I have seen such people. For me, anywhere I sit and close my eyes, I'll go to sleep. It's not that I'm tired. I don't know what happens. Especially when somebody is singing Hindustani music, I'm done with it. Immediately I'll go to sleep. Lullaby it is. Or alapana in a Carnatic music, immediately I'll go to sleep. Now you see, some people cannot sleep in the flight. I ask, why are you not able to sleep? No, I have a thought that I'm in the flight, I'm in the flight, I'm in the flight, I'm in the flight. Arey, usko bhul jao. You're not in the flight, you are at home. Just close your eyes and you are in the home. Just sleep. No, Swamiji, that thought comes that I'm in the flight. Anyway, coming back to the point, so when you are sleeping, why is that you don't need to do any practice? Kyunki, you know why? Because you love sleep. All of us love to go to sleep, isn't it? I'm thinking, should I sleep or not? You never think about it. When it is time to go to retire to bed, you finish all the things, and then you joyfully, happily, relaxedly, you go to sleep. There's no effort, that much. But if something is disturbing you in your mind, some things to be taken care, or some other situation which you are not able to handle, in that case, you have to force yourself to sleep. Now, so therefore, just like when a person has not necessarily put effort to sleep in a normal, healthy condition. Why? Because there is a love for that state of bliss one enjoys in sleep. Similarly, when we have the Samadhi Anand, the ability to enjoy the quietude of the mind and absorption in the self, in Savikalpa Samadhi, one attempts on that. And when that joy is greater than any other thought entertaining any other thought about any other thing, then the absorption is natural, spontaneous. Thus, when the vasanas are made to be reduced to the mere minimum, effort to abide in the self is also bare minimum. There is no effort. When there is absence of distracting vasanas, effort becomes zero. Clear? And that was possible because he has put effort before. That's why it is saying here. Vrittinam anuvrittistu prayatnat pratamat. Prior itself, api, even. And adrushta, this is the next point he puts it is, that why is that some people are able to abide or go into samadhi or meditation so easily than others? Adrushta. Adrushta means the unseen merits of the past. How he or she lived in the previous life also matters. What are the things that that person has done, and what are the effects of the past action that are presently being experienced by the individual. They also play a vital role in reduction of the vasanas as well as the ability to quieten the mind easily and abide in the self. Shatakodi janma sukruta punyaihi. Shatakodi janma sukruta punyaihi. Meaning, those actions which have created so many merits from the past actions, hundreds and crores of them. So that is also playing a very important role here. Adrushta means punya vishesha. Asakrit abhyasa. Asakrit abhyasa samskara sachivat. Because of the very help of those two of them, the punya of the past as well as punya accrued of the due to past actions, and also the practice that is done over a period of time. Bhavet anuvrittihi bhavet. Vrittinam anuvrittihi bhavet. Continuous flow. Anuvritti means continuous flows. That is pravaha. Anuvritti, pravaha. The anuvritti, abidance in the self as a continuous flow of thought is possible because of those. Very good. Swamiji, nice to hear these theories, but what do we do? So in the example that is given, previous also it is mentioned by the same author. Now he again quotes the verse from the chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. Yata dipo nivotasta ityadiviranekadha Bhagavan imamevartham Arjunaya nyarupayat Yata dipo nivatasta ityadiviranekadha Bhagavan imameva evartam Arjunaya nyarupayat. Bhagavan nyarupayat. Rupayat, nirupayat. Nirupanam is to prove, authoritatively point out. And in the past tense, it is nirupayat. Nirupayati, nirupayat. Ni arupayat. Ni plus arupayat. Anyway. So, he pointed out in the past, when he spoke to Arjun, Arjunaya nirupayat. He pointed out for Arjuna what? Bhagavan Krishna himself, imam evartham. This alone as the meaning. When he pointed out with an illustration. What is that? Yata, just as, nivatastha deepaha. iti. A deepa, a lamp, the flame that is a lamp that is placed in the windless spot. We have seen that in the last session. What is most important there is not only the vessel called the mind, but in the vessel you need the oil called love for the self, and the wick called knowledge, wisdom, intellect, and the wind, absence of wind, meaning absence of desires about the world, and then the light which is properly lit by the Guru as knowledge, initiating individual towards that meditation. Such is the simile Bhagavan Krishna has given to Arjuna. Yata deepo nivatastah na ingade sa upama smrda yogino yatachittasya injato yogamatmanah. So, in this way, idi ityadibihi anekada. In this way, various different ways, Bhagavan Krishna had given example of nirvikalpa samadhi to Arjuna. The yogi's mind is like the flickerless flame from a lamp that is placed in a windless spot. If you have your own home, when you light a lamp in a room where there is not much of any window, or let us say there is no windows are closed or windows are not there, and you watch the flame, it will be steady with no movement at all. And when you go closer, it will just move once. Nowadays they have the battery operated one also. A small little movement will be there. So, but in a case of a real lamp, when there is no wind at all, steady sitting there. In the same way, the mind of a yogi will have a continuous steady flow, and when the flame is not at all moving, you will think that there is no lamp there. It looked like static, a picture. There's no motion at all. In the same way, a yogi's mind has reached that point of perfection in the abidance in the self, and there is no other thought disturbance. Therefore, a stream of thought, I would not even say a stream of thought, one single thought of aham brahmasmiti, akandakara ekavrutti, one thought with no disturbance means there is one single thought moving. Even moving is also not right. Moving means then it is considered as some momentum there. There is no momentum. It's static there. That's called self-abidance, samadhi. So therefore, here when Krishna points out this with the simile to show such a yogi is considered as great by me, Krishna says, yoginam api sarvesham madgade rantaratmana madgata gone into me, antaratmana, with his mind, I consider that as yoginam sreshtaha, the best. And therefore, tasmas yogi bhavarjuna, karmibhyo jnanibhyo adhikah, is greater than a karmi, greater than a jnani is a yogi of this caliber. Because that yogi has achieved that oneness with the Supreme, where there is no difference, there is no distance, there is no otherness with the self. And so in many, many different places, Bhagavan Krishna had pointed out that the flame of the lamp shows the mind of the yogi. All right. Now, okay, somehow or the other, let us say, Swamiji, I am able to get into samadhi, let us say. Now, what other possible result will be there out of this samadhi? Because you said samadhi is a blissful state. A state of oneness with the Brahman is not a miserable state. See, the apprehension people will have about this is, if sab मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ उसके लिए, if I am leaving everything for that, it must be something exalted amount of joy. Otherwise, why should I give up all other sense-born pleasures and happiness? It must be something great, which I cannot even comprehend right now at this point, because our idea of bliss is to the extent of probably sleep. Right. What is that bliss which, beyond that, what is it? So-called bliss you are talking about, fine. What is it beyond that? So, what is the, here he says, what is the final result? Avantar phalam kim? That's a question. Yata deepo nivatastha nengate sopama smrta ityadibihi shlokaihi Anekada nana prakarena Bhagavan Aishwaryadi Sampannah. Who is Bhagavan? Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasashriyah jnana vijnana vairagyayoschaiva shannam bhaga iti ringana. Iti Vishnu Purane. Bhagavan, when he says, when we utter the name Bhagavan, what it means? He is the one who has all these 6 different qualities. Aishwarya, prosperity. Not simple prosperity, samagrasya aishwaryasya, of the complete prosperity, virya, strength, yashaha, fame, shriyaha, celebrity status, jnana, jnanam, the knowledge, vairagya, dispassion. These are the 6 qualities which make him distinguished from all others. There is a little different versions are there, but essentially 6 qualities are called Shan. Shannam idingana, the one who has all the 6 qualities called Bhagavan. Imameva nirvikalpa samadhi rupam artam arjunaya shishyaya nirupitavan. Alright, what is the avantara phalam? What is the other result that can probably would be there in the practice of samadhi? That is taken up in the verse number 59. So we'll read here. Anada viha samsare sanchita karma kotayah anena vilayam yanti Shuddho dharmo vivardate Anada viha samsare sanchita karma kotayah anena vilayam yanti shuddho dharmo vivardate. Now the question is, can a person who has reached the state of samadhi, what happens to his karma? What is the what will happen to his actions that done in the past, or actions done in this present life, or the action that he will continue to do after getting up from samadhi? Now this question would come to anybody's mind because in our everyday life also, what dictates us to get up in the morning is our karma only. Otherwise we won't get up. इतना आराम से सोया भाई, क्यों उठना है? I am just sleeping very well. No, why do I get up? This person who is sleeping, his karma comes bharya rupena. you know, Bharta Rupena, Putra Rupena, Kutta Rupena. It can come in many forms. As your wife, as your husband, as your son or daughter, or even a pet. Pet come jumping on you. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Arey Baba, ye prarabdha hai. No, that's what it is. That Prakriti will wake you up. You cannot escape. So karma definitely would make us get up every day, morning. We have to get up. Even though we are enjoying the slumber of sleep, but you cannot remain there. The body itself is a prarabdha. It will make you get up. Hunger, thirst, other things. Interesting, right? So when you get up, suddenly you say, oh, I'm hungry. Arey, while sleeping, you are not hungry or what? I have to go to the restroom. What happened? Until you sleep, there is no problem. The moment you get up, all of them start demanding things. Come on, do this, do this, do this, do this. So karma, which is there, even in the case of a yogi, his past actions, would it not come and disturb him from getting out of the samadhi? It will push him out of the samadhi, is it not? Arey Baba, samadhi janne bhi nahi deta hai. What to talk of going there? Even going to samadhi itself is not possible because of karma. बैठ रहा हूँ, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं होता नहीं. As soon as I get up, Swamiji, all the things I need to do comes to my mind. Somehow or the other, I don't know how. Until then, I never think about these things. The moment I sit quietly, Om Namah Shivaya, hey, this thing has to be done. Why are you sitting down? Shut up. Om Namah Shivaya. Oh my God, yes, that phone call is pending. See, everything that comes to you suddenly, and you realize that, when does it end? It ends in samadhi. Anado iha samsari. In this beginningless, endless samsara, samsare, anado iha samsare, sanchitaha, well collected, accumulated, karma kotayaha, crores and crores of actions performed in thousands and thousands of lives, anena, meaning samadhina, by this very samadhi, vilayam yanti, they get destroyed. कर्म से न विलय होता है. An action cannot be ended by another action. Please do not have any kind of such a notion. I do this action to end other action. No, that never happens. You'll create another one. No, the idea of, I did a mistake, prayashchita karma karenge, it is very good for your getting out of the guilt feeling. When I did something and I want attenuation. So, atonement, what is called atonement. So, I did a mistake and I do something else to take care of that. A papa karma cannot be compensated by another punya karma. They are independent results they will give. If you have done a karma which is not good, if you have done a papa karma, a bad action, that will have a result. And if you do a punya karma, they will have a result. Don't say that I did this, some 10 papa karmas I have done, some 20 punya karmas compensate. Extra 10 I have got in my balance. My balance is increased. What? I have done 10 bad things and 20 good things I have done. So 10 cancelled, another 10 is extra. So I can freshly do another 10 to, compensate. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So please understand that karma can never be overcome by another karma. When does karma end? Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. ज्ञान अग्नि में सर्व कर्म भस्मसात कुरुते. ज्ञानाग्निद सर्व कर्माणि भस्मसात कुरुते अर्जुन. ऐसा क्यों है? और हाउ इज दैट पॉसिबल? ज्ञान जो है, व्हाट इज नॉलेज? नॉलेज इज दैट इज नॉट इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर्ड फ्रॉम द बुक्स. वो विद्या है. Jnana is personalization of what you learned. You are taking that into your own experience. Then only it becomes jnana. Now, when an individual has taken to this understanding that कर्म का मूल अविद्या है, and avidya nivritya eva karma nivrittihi bhavati. Tasmat karanat avidya nivrityadyam vidya praptihi avashyakam. To remove the avidya, I need it to be replaced by vidya, knowledge. So vidya praptya eva avidya nivrittihi. The removal of ignorance is only through knowledge. Tasmat, avidya, when it is removed, savilasa, its own expression called karma, also will end. Because without the ignorance, karma cannot continue. The mother of karma is avidya. And the cause of karma is not removed, karma will continue. The cause of karma is removed, karma will end. So vidya is the one which can remove the karma indirectly. And so this understanding, when one has, that very knowledge of the self is the only way where I can bring an end to the karma. And this understanding must be owned up. That is called jnanam. So what vidya is that? मैं अकर्ता हूं, अकर्ता था, अकर्ता ही होंगे. मैं कर्ता नहीं था. I was not the doer. I am not the doer. I shall never be the doer. Today morning also we saw in the 13th chapter, Prakritya eva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha. Every time that every action is done by the Prakriti only. Such a person, Atmanam akartaram pashyati. That then alone a person can understand what we mean by akarta atma. So akarta atma abhini. Before also it was akarta only. Before also it is not a non-doer only. Today, now also it is not doing. And forever it is continuing to be non-doer only. This is knowledge, imbibed, personalized, assimilated. When this knowledge has been digested correctly by an individual, and because of which his staying in samadhi is undisturbed, because he never regrets for what is not being done right now, This is our problem, you know. मैं तो बैठ रहा हूँ. Is it not that I am actually escaping from work? People have this doubt also. स्वामी जी, ये आप समाधि और मेडिटेशन आप बता रहे हैं ना, आप वॉट एवर यूर सेइंग, अब रिटायर के बाद में करेंगे. रिटायरमेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट? From what are you retiring? You are already so tired. What is there to retire? So you mean to say the day I resign my job and retirement, suddenly every karma will stop? Do you think so? As though it's switched off. Is it the physical body that is retiring? Mind which has the feeling that I am the karta, will it suddenly end one day? On the day you give resignation? Jnana eva. So when you are sitting for meditation, never regret that you are not doing anything. Because you have not been doing anything anyways. Don't say that now I am not doing anything. Two people were talking, two men. They were saying, one person said, my son was so useless, doing nothing. Now he is okay. What? He is meditating. Now you see, this new brand is given to that. Earlier he was useless, doing nothing. Now meditating. He is doing nothing only. And in the worst cases, people come to us and say, my third son, so useless. Can you make him a Swami? What an insult. Now, when you sit for meditation, obviously, you are not you're expected to do anything. What is that understanding that you should have when you sit for meditation? मैं करता नहीं था, अभी नहीं हूँ, नहीं होगा. When you have gained that understanding that मैं करता नहीं था, that is the end of your karma. Not merely an idea, a notion, an opinion. Even as I have done whatever I have done, वो प्रकृति किया था. It is all done by the prakriti, not me. And this jnanam ends in that abidance in the self when akarta atma rupena yattishtati, when he remains as the self which is actionless presence. That's what it is saying here. Iha asmin samsare sanchitaha sampaditaha karmakotaya karmanam punya apunya lakshananam karmakotaya iti upalakshanam aparimitani karmani ityartaha anena samadhina vilayam yanti vinashyanti. By this samadhi it will come to an end, and it is not just a statement made by author of Panchadashi, that is Vidyaranya, but he says, Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravari iti Mundakopanishad Shrute Jnanagni sarva karmani iti Bhagavad Gitayam iti Smridescha. It is stated in the Shruti as well as stated in the Smriti, in the Upanishad as well as in Bhagavad Gita. Anena samadhina vilayam yanti vinashyanti. Aparimitani kamirani. Unlimited actions accumulated in the past. And when Mundakopanishad says, tasmin drishte para and avara. Paravare tasmin drishte. Meaning, the higher and lower of the nature of the self when it is seen. ये क्या बात है? what is para and avara here? Para means Atman, avara means Prakriti. The both avara means when is ava, when you the word ava, wherever it is used, it is down, below, lower. Now, when one recognizes that Prakriti, Maya, the name that is given to the Prakriti is many. They are many. Avyakta Namni, Paramesha Shaktihi, Anadya Vidya, Trigunatmika, all this. So these are all Avara Brahman. Brahman at the lower level of transactional level of existence. And the same Paramatma, the self alone, is the Paraswarupena Atma iti katyate. So the self is in the higher nature is known as Atman. At the lower level, the same one is itself is perceived to be superimposed as Prakriti. There cannot be two things there. Para and avara. Upadi sahitam, upadi vihitam api. Upadi vihitaha parabrahma, upadi sahitaha jivaha, who is associated with Prakriti. So, when it is seen as with the upadi and without the upadi, both, then only one realizes that with the upadi there is an apparent actor, and without the upadi there is only a presence. Just as a person has taken a role of a beggar in a drama stage is our manifestation. It's a lower manifestation of the person, meaning he has assumed a form. In the green room, he is no form, he has assumed, he is himself. So when one recognizes that I, the actor, is the Paraswarupa, I, the beggar, is Avaraswarupa. I am not two people, there are no two people here. So in the Avaraswarupa, in the lower form, I have done many things, but do the actions done by me in a disguised form of a beggar will ever affect me, or will it affect the beggar? Whom does it affect? A dialogue you are saying, and then the person in the same stage or a drama stage, and he is calling you names. You, the beggar, fool, idiot, stupid, good for nothing, parasite. You, the one who is thus playing the role of a beggar, what do? Smile inside, but frown outside. Right? Inside drama, outside drama. As Guruji would say. You will frown outside. For what? That is your role you have to play. So you frown. But what are you doing inside? Very good acting. So that role, when it is over, Veshahanataha Swatmadarshanam. When that Vesha, that Upadi, when it is given up, along with the Upadi, all the various effects of the actions are over, gone. Therefore, Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Paraswarupena Paramatma, Avaraswarupena Jivatma, Eka Eva iti Jnatva, Kshiyante Chasya Karmani, Asya Jnaninaha Karmani, Kshiyante Karmani iti Bahuvachanat. Because it is given in plural, therefore, Sanchita Agami Tada Api Prarabdham Api. Of course, Prarabdha can be experienced. Bhogadeva Kshayam Gacchati. Bhogena Kshayam Gacchati. You have to experience it. So, Tasmin Drishte Paravare, on seeing the higher and lower nature of the self alone, there is all the actions of the individual come to an end. This is said in the Mundaka Shruti. And in Bhagavan Krishna in Gita also points out this, Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate jnanakti sarva karmani basmasat kurute. Arjuna, just like the fire is burning the wood, the fuel is burnt by the fire. Now you see the interesting point why that example is given is Indhanam. Indhanam is fuel. A wood is a fuel. Correct? Wood is a fuel. How does wood become a fuel? The wood has the potential fire inside that. The fire is burning itself, its own abode. The fire inside is burning what? Burning itself. Its own abode. Its abode is the wood. And that very wood in which it is sitting, it burns. Isn't it? And finally, what remains there? Neither the fire nor the wood. Bhasmasat kurate. Similarly, the individual here, when he gets a jnana agni, what does it burn? Karma that is holding him as the bondage gets consumed inside. And what remains is nothing there, finally. Karmanam daktva jnanam api samapyate. The knowledge, so-called knowledge that has burnt that action also ends. If the fire has been burnt in the wood, and afterwards at the end of it, you see nothing there. Fire is also not there. So the individual who has thus gained that fire of knowledge burns that all the karmas, all those karmas which are apparently binding him, and because of the inner fire, the actions that are binding the individual is burnt, and what remains is not the individual anymore. When the karmas end, the individual also ends. So that is the state of samadhi, where the individuality ends, like a bhasma, gone. So that's why Bhagavan Shiva, the end result is nobody, nothing. So that is why he quotes this point here, Jnanagni sarva karmani. Iti smritescha. And the last quarter he says, Shuddho dharmaha, Shuddha dharmaha vivardate. Vardate, grows. Vishesha. There is a pure virtue that starts growing. Shuddho dharmaha savilasa avidya nivartaka sakshatkara sadhana bhutaha dharmo vivardate. That which is able to bring an end to the ignorance along with all its effects, that virtue starts growing. The virtue here is to be understood as the dharma. Here dharma means a qualification to retain that samadhi sthiti. That grows. So about this Shuddha Dharma, there is a nice discussion on that. and that we will see in the next class. Yeah, we are almost at the end. We have a few more verses. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just wait, I need to say a few things.